Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to have a look at why your compost heap is not heating up the way you want it to.
First, let's look at why you should compost hot.
There are lots of reasons why a hot compost heap is better for your allotment than a cold one. Number one is that it saves you time. Hot compost heaps will break the material down really fast, so you should have compost to use on your beds in about 2 months. You will actually have mulch to put on top of your beds after about 1 month, and it won't be very well rotten down, but it will be enough to start breaking down into the soil and feeding the plants. Cold compost does a less efficient job of getting rid of your pathogens and diseases from the year before. Hot compost heaps are between 40 and 70 degrees, so they should start to kill off any diseases and pathogens and pests that mean that your compost is much cleaner for the year ahead. I've spent many years making compost piles and I have learned a thing or two about how to keep your compost hot. There are lots of ways that your compost heap might start to lose heat, and in today's video we're going to have a look at some of those problems and how you can fix them. The first reason why your compost pile might not be heating up is that it's either too wet or too dry. There's a perfect golden area, and you'll find this throughout the video. There's a perfect golden rule with your compost heap that means it'll warm up really fast and you'll have compost to use in 2 months. Your compost needs to be damp like a damp sponge. It shouldn't squeeze out any water, but it should sort of compact a bit. It should feel wet to the touch. And that is when you're going to have the perfect recipe for a hot compost pile. If you haven't done so already, I'd love to have you along for my growing journey. Why not hit the subscribe button down below and join the community? Reason number 2 that your compost pile might not be heating up enough is that you haven't used enough green or brown. It doesn't matter if you're using a bucket or a wheelbarrow. The best way to look at this is a ratio of 2 to 1. 2 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen. 2 parts brown to 1 part green. That's the best way to look at this.
One of the things I know that holds people back from building huge compost piles is the materials. So let's look at what you actually can source and build your compost pile with and how you can do it a lot faster. To keep things economical, you can make up your browns by using wood chip, and you can source wood chip from lots of tree surgeons and local people in your area. I find lots of wood chip on my allotment. The greens can be made with manure. That will be a really efficient way of making your green part of your compost heap. You can use food waste, although be aware with pests, and you can also use lots of weeds. So if you have lots of greens, you may be lucky enough to have wood chip that's got lots of greens in it already, with leaves and other parts of the tree that are rich in nitrogen.
What you want to do is you want to get 2 wheelbarrow loads of wood chip to every 1 wheelbarrow load of greens or manure. That should heat your pile up really well, and it should distribute that heat really well through the pile, and your pile should stay warm for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. Depending on how big you make it, it will get very hot. Reason number 3 that your compost pile might not be hot enough is that it's not big enough. You need to make your compost pile about 3 foot by 3 foot. That is the ideal place to have your compost heap. And if you really want to heat your compost pile up, you need to make that pile very quickly, within about 2 days. What you want to do is make sure your materials are together already. So whether you're using leaf mould or wood chip for your browns, you then need to make sure you've got your greens. So whether you get a delivery of manure or you get your weeds and your grass and everything together ready, and nettles, and then you mix those together in a day or 2. You can add to this pile, and I have done this over the weeks ahead of that time. However, it's better if you get it all in that weekend, because it will really help to raise the temperature. The problem that a lot of people will have is they'll be adding little bits to their compost pile each time, but they're not actually seeing much in the way of heat. And we are in the business of making compost really fast here. So I recommend taking some time out on one weekend and just making your compost heap over the winter. It's the perfect time to do it, and you'll have fresh, beautiful compost to use in 2 months' time. Please do hit the like button down below. It helps to send this video out to more people so I can inspire and help others in the garden community get those compost piles warmer and get those compost piles working. Hopefully that helps you with your composting, and hopefully you make some really nice hot heaps on your beds and allotments over this winter period so that you can get some beautiful compost to use on your plants in the year ahead. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to check out any more of my composting and other videos from the garden, then you can find them over here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!